Yo guys, Vision here, back with more Borderlands 4 content as we finally now completed the game, and in today's video we are diving straight into the finale of Borderlands and the exploration of Kairos with the Dominion, the capital city of the entire world, the main story, the pinnacle of the campaign. And in this video we will share some explosive action, more crazy boss fights, loot areas, tips and tricks, and all of the chaotic Vault Hunter vibes that you love from this franchise. Now I managed to get this done in under 40 hours, which does include plenty of time spent enjoying the world lore and exploring the entirety of Kairos with an abundance of incredible side content, and I'll share lots of XP farming tips along the way at the end, so stay tuned and let's get right into it. So I guess first things first, just to talk about the sort of finale of the game, I think it's very clear that Borderlands 4 set the way, and the world of Kairos has almost rewrote the rules of looting, shooting, and absolute mayhem. Now today we are cracking open the new planet itself with co-op carnage and defeating the final boss, the Timekeeper, which is a part of completing the main story and allows you to access the ultimate Vault Hunter mode. Now the Dominion in itself is the Timekeeper's massive fortress city, a sprawling urban endgame hub with dense architecture, faction conflicts, and impenetrable defenses, which leads into the final vault where you will effectively complete the game and open up a ton more of side access and side content and all of these fun adventures that you want to get underway with, whilst also maintaining that build of your character into the end game with final bosses and so on. Now the Borderlands 4 game is designed as a welcoming entry point for newcomers. The game provides quick recaps of key lore, like events from Borderlands 3 involving Pandora and Elpis crashing into the Kairos' sky, introducing returning characters like Claptrap, the iconic comedian, Moxie, Zane, Amara, and explains everything needed during the campaign, which I thought was really user-friendly for newer players. But as an expert like myself who's been playing since Borderlands 1, who absolutely loves this franchise and wanted to make sure that I had some Borderlands content on here as a new creator, someone that absolutely loves this franchise, I wanted to make sure that I shared the journey of completing Borderlands 4. Although not the fastest by any means, I did spend plenty of time enjoying the side content and just exploring through the game, and like I said, I did it in under 40 hours. Now, like I said, you can have done this a lot quicker. The game is a couple of months old by now, so this is not me trying to be the fastest to get the campaign done, just purely sharing my journey to help inspire other players to try this game out if they see it and they hadn't, or of course if you guys have, to see if you can relate to any of the journeys that we've encountered so far and see if there's anything you want to share along the way, or if perhaps there's some XP tips at the end in case you wanted to grind out all 4 of the characters, which is something I will eventually get around to doing, something I really want to do, and just have all 4 on the way, because I played co-op along this journey with all 4 characters in co-op. I played with Amon, which was my brother. I played with my friend who was playing Harlow the Graviter, which was absolutely incredible and probably the most important character that we had, defeating bosses, and of course Rafa. And I guess I just want to get around to eventually creating all of them with XP farming tips. It is going to be crucial in order to do it more efficiently. Now the campaign consists of 21 to 25 story missions across 4 different seamless open world zones of Kairos, which is the Fade Fields, the nice friendly starting area, the Terminus Range, and Carcadia Burns, which is the 2 separate areas before you access the finale, the Dominion, which takes around about 20 to maybe 30 hours if you focus solely on just completing the story. But like I said, if you're a lore-based fan or you just enjoy the side content, there's plenty of it, and it's so much to do, and there's just so much enjoyable aspects of this game, so I would highly recommend it. And after a lot of process side mission, this allows flexible lieutenant takedowns with 98 total side missions, which aren't required but definitely help you level up. And as a general tip, I do say to do one of these every 5 or so levels without XP over grinding early, because you will encounter bosses quite later on where you won't have the equipment because you haven't explored the side content, therefore you haven't got an abundance of loot, whatever it may be, and therefore you may struggle in boss fights, especially if you're just not prepared. So just bear this in mind. It could help you guys build up your level. I was around level 40-ish by the time I completed the campaign. I could have done more XP farming, but I would rather have been 40 than had been 30. There were things I got along the way, and of course extra skill points, which is more important than the loot in itself. Now the hard difficulty is recommended for veteran players that have played a long time, like myself from Borderlands 1, as it scales really well. The level cap is 50 during the campaign, and for any completionist style players out there that want to just explore all of Kairos and do all the side content, I would avoid hitting 50 as early, as it locks specialization XP, but also the blueprints, the purple, the sort of gear in itself suffices quite early. So I would suggest to not over farm them, and especially those legendaries as well, and wait until you are 50 if you're going to do that. And from my own experience, the key mechanics to master in this game are the enhanced movement from past games with the incredible double jump, the slide dash, the grapple to grab items, enemies, and of course the jetpack glide, which is very useful for traversing the world in itself and also for combat purposes. Now the gear, there are billions of guns with mixed manufacture parts. Ordnance replaces grenades, grenades in the game, but is also very cool. And of course, the rep kits for mid-fight heals, which are insanely clutch and definitely essential. The vehicle in itself is incredible. I absolutely love this feature. I like getting it very early on. It really improves the exploration of this world. It's incredible in this game in itself. Being able to summon your own hover bike anywhere makes it faster for traveling, just like Destiny, if you guys have played that game. And this was a great addition. I was all for it and was really sort of pleasantly surprised with how easy this was to use and just generally get around the map. As for exploration in itself, clearing the safe houses, the order silos for fast travel is a great tip. I would highly suggest this, especially as well for XP. This is a really good tip. Hitting drill sites and bunkers for XP, as well as loot, and collecting vault fragments for optional vault dungeons, glide upgrades, etc. for boss fights is really useful, as well as a little bit of a tip for XP. And also, I would also say there's other activities like world events, Ripper drill sites, order bunkers, Moxie's big encore bosses such as the Driller Hole. All of these things are really, really good for XP farming. I would highly suggest them in itself, and I would say that this is definitely one of the better methods for XP farming. It's like I said, especially if you want all 4 characters, you don't want to go through the game at a slower pace. You kind of want to get all 4 to a certain point where you get plenty of skill points in itself. But this game is definitely a fan favorite for its Pandora-like desolate vibe, high loot potential, and ties to ongoing events like Horrors of Kairos. I would say my journey was incredible. I was pleasantly surprised and taken back. I didn't actually finish Borderlands 3 going into this game, which I was a bit disappointed with, but we're going to go back and complete that eventually anyway. But just going into this game, I did have medium expectations. I didn't know if it was going to come to the level of Borderlands 2, which I don't think it still did. I was a massive fan of Borderlands 2. It's one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. I would say that this game came closer than I ever could have anticipated, though, and I will give it the credit it deserves, and I cannot wait to get into the end game content and start grinding that out in future months. As I am currently recording this video, I am still playing Black Ops 7. As you guys are, if you're probably not aware and you're new to the channel for the first time, I create content for so many different games: Minecraft, Marvel Rivals, the likes of zombies in Call of Duty, as well as Call of Duty in itself, multiplayer, prestige grind, camo grind, as well as Warzone. I create so much different content, and Borderlands just happens to be a game that I play in the background with a friend or two, and just dial it back with a little bit of PvE and of course some hardcore boss fights, and just loot scaling, loot farming is really fun, and I just really enjoy this game, and it's been a pleasant journey to say the least, and I really look forward to going into the endgame content with the ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and just making sure that going forward this is going to be a game I continue to come back to, especially with the DLCs, which I'm really looking forward to, and I think this game has provided us with a promising start, and as long as they support the game really well and the character development is really key and just got maintained and supported, I would say we are in for a good cycle with Borderlands 4, and I think the entire journey so far with taking out all of the bosses, the lieutenants, all the way from the start in the Fade Fields to the Dominion in the capital, defeating that Timekeeper, it was all an extremely important and just fundamentally fun journey. I would say definitely get on board of this, guys. I would not recommend it enough to anybody new who hasn't played Borderlands, and even if you're a fan to the hardcore franchise and you've been around like myself since Borderlands 1 and you've been playing all the way throughout, even the little sort of Easter eggs in the story have been incredible. But in summary, I'd say the boss fights in Borderlands 4 have just been nothing short of incredible. I've spent a whole lot of time exploring the game, completing side quests, and as a completionist style player, this is something I always end up doing and thriving upon in this environment. I've really enjoyed playing as Vex and grinding through those boss fights. But let me know down below, guys, who have you been playing as in the journey so far? How have you been finding the game? Do you have any issues, or of course maybe any tips and tricks so far that you want to share for both newer players and of course like players like myself who've been playing for quite a while but maybe were surprised with some of the things that you guys have learned in your journey? The next video in the near future will be around the ultimate Vault Hunter mode content and exploring the end game so far in Borderlands 4. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content so far in this video in itself and found this to be useful. I'm trying to create content for both new fans to the franchise to inspire players, as well as content for more lore-based fans to the game, so stay tuned and make sure you hit that like and subscribe as it massively helps me out. I'm a small creator, as you can see, and I would hugely appreciate the support. I'm Visionary Gen, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one.